Hello there, and welcome back to the Serene Scroll. I am so glad you could join me tonight. Perhaps the day has been full, its edges crowded with thoughts and tasks and sounds. But that is all behind you now. It is time to let it all go, to allow the weight of the world to gently dissolve into the quiet of this moment. Tonight, we will not stay here on Earth. We will embark on a long, slow voyage, a journey of the mind to the farthest edge of our solar system's old kingdom. We travel toward a world of impossible blue, a place of mystery and deep abiding cold. And just before we begin, if you find that these quiet explorations help you unwind, if they offer you a peaceful harbor at the end of your day, consider gently tapping the like button and subscribing to the channel. It allows our shared journeys to continue to venture even further into the calm expanses of wonder. Now find a comfortable position. Let your body feel heavy, supported, and safe. Let your breath soften, flowing in and out without any effort at all. And let us begin our voyage to the blue giant. It all begins with a question, not a loud one, not a question that demands an immediate answer, but a quiet one whispered on the cold night air. It is the question you feel when you look up into a truly dark sky, far from the glow of cities, and see the soft, sprawling river of the Milky Way. It is the feeling that this intricate, silent tapestry of light extends far beyond what our eyes can resolve. The question is simply, what is out there? What lies at the very edge of our familiar cosmic neighborhood? For millennia, that edge was marked by Saturn, the ringed sentinel, the final wanderer visible to the unaided eye. Then telescopes pushed the boundary to the pale, sideways spinning orb of Uranus. But the universe, it seemed, had one more secret saved for us in the classical arrangement of the sun's family. A final deep blue world waiting patiently in the dark. This is the story of our journey to that world. A voyage to Neptune. This is not a journey of conquest. There are no flags to be planted in its swirling gaseous clouds. There is no territory to claim. This is a pilgrimage. It is an act of listening, an attempt to finally hear the answer to that ancient whispered question. Neptune does not call to us with any promise of warmth or life. It offers only the truth of distance of cold, and of a beauty so profound and alien it verges on the sublime. Its allure is the allure of the unknown, the magnetic pull of a story half told. To travel there, even in our imagination, is to honor the most patient and persistent of human instincts, the desire to see what lies over the next hill, and the one after that, and the one that exists only as a faint blue dot in the velvet black. What makes this final world so compelling is the very way it entered our awareness. Unlike every other planet before it, Neptune was not discovered by a person peering through a telescope and stumbling upon a new point of light. It was found first on paper. It was discovered by the human mind. In the early 19th century, astronomers were puzzled. The planet Uranus, the seventh world from the Sun, was not behaving as it should. It strayed from its predicted path, sometimes moving a little faster, sometimes a little slower, as if being nudged by an unseen hand. The meticulous laws of gravity laid down by Newton were unshakable. They described the orbits of all the other planets with near-perfect precision. So if the laws were correct, there could be only one explanation. Something else was out there. Another world, massive and unseen, orbiting even farther out in the cold darkness, its gravitational influence gently pulling Uranus off course. Imagine the audacity of this idea. to propose the existence of a colossal world based on nothing more than a slight wobble in the orbit of another. It was a testament to a deep faith in the order of the universe, a belief that the cosmos played by rules that could be understood. In France, an astronomer named Urbain Le Verrier took up this grand celestial puzzle. He was a master of celestial mechanics, a field of mathematics so complex it seemed a language spoken only by the planets themselves. For months he sat at his desk, surrounded by pages dense with calculations, mapping the heavens, not with a lens, but with ink and equations. He was not looking for a planet. He was calculating where a planet must be for the solar system to make sense. He accounted for the pull of Jupiter, the pull of Saturn, and then, in the remaining gravitational discrepancy, he found the ghost. He calculated its mass, its orbit, its exact position in the sky. In September of 1846, convinced of his findings, he sent a letter to the Berlin Observatory to an astronomer named Johann Galle. Le Verrier's letter, in essence, said, "Point your telescope to this specific spot in the constellation of Aquarius, and you will find a new world." Imagine receiving such a letter, a prediction of such magnificent confidence. On the very night the letter arrived, Galle and his assistant aimed their telescope at the coordinates Le Verrier had provided, and there it was, a tiny pale blue disk exactly where the mathematics said it would be. It was less than 1 degree away from the predicted position. For the first time in human history, a piece of our solar system was discovered not by sight, but by pure reason. Neptune was thought into existence before it was seen. This is the first layer of its mystery. It is a world born from the logic of the cosmos, a testament to the power of the human mind to reach out and touch the void with nothing but numbers and unwavering curiosity. And so we travel toward this world of the mind, this planet of reason. But what Voyager 2 revealed to us when it flew past in 1989 was a place far stranger and more chaotic than any set of equations could have ever predicted. From a distance, Neptune is a vision of serene, hypnotic blue, a deep, rich, royal blue, far more vivid than the gentle aquamarine of Uranus. It looks calm, regal, and profoundly peaceful. But this tranquil appearance is a beautiful illusion. It is a mask that hides the most violent and turbulent weather in the entire solar system. The winds of Neptune are a phenomenon that defies easy explanation. Here, on a world 30 times farther from the Sun than Earth, where sunlight is 900 times weaker, and the temperature at the cloud tops plunges to an unimaginable -214 degrees Celsius, we expected to find a quiet, frozen, and perhaps stagnant atmosphere. Instead, we found winds screaming across the planet at over 2,000 kilometers per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound. These are not mere storms. They are supersonic jet streams of frozen methane and other ices howling through the frigid twilight of the outer solar system. A storm system dubbed the Great Dark Spot, a swirling Earth-sized vortex of unimaginable power, was seen churning in its southern hemisphere, a hurricane so vast and violent it makes our own planet's most powerful storms seem like gentle breezes. And this reveals the planet's second great secret. Where does the energy for such ferocity come from? A planet's weather is driven by energy, typically from its star. But Neptune is so far from the Sun, it receives only a faint whisper of its warmth. The energy arriving is not nearly enough to power such atmospheric chaos. The answer must lie within. Neptune somehow is warm on the inside. It radiates more than 2.5 times the energy it receives from the Sun. It is as if, in its deep, dark heart, there is a furnace still burning. Perhaps it is the leftover heat from its formation billions of years ago, a primordial warmth that the planet has been slowly bleeding into space ever since. Or perhaps it is the result of immense pressure deep within its core, squeezing gases and causing a slow gravitational contraction that generates heat. We do not know for sure. But we travel toward this paradox, a world of deep freeze on the surface powered by a secret inner fire, a silent blue orb that conceals a screaming supersonic heart. Its very existence is a third puzzle, the nebular hypothesis. The story of how our solar system formed tells us that planets grow by accretion. Dust and gas in a great disk around the young sun slowly clump together, forming pebbles, then boulders, then planetesimals, and finally the planets we see today. But out where Neptune orbits, in the sparse, frigid outer reaches of that primordial disk, the raw material should have been too spread out. The process of building a giant world, piece by piece, should have taken far longer than the age of the solar system itself. So how is Neptune here? The leading theory is that it was not born here. Neptune, along with its sibling Uranus, likely formed much closer to the Sun in the bustling region near Jupiter and Saturn. In the chaotic early days of the solar system, a gravitational dance between these young giants sent the smaller ice worlds Uranus and Neptune spiraling outwards, flinging them into the far cold darkness where they reside today. Think of that. This great blue world is not a native of the space it now occupies. It is a migrant, an exile, a traveler that made a grand journey of its own billions of years before we ever thought to make ours. It carries in its orbit the memory of a more violent, dynamic past. And its largest moon, Triton, tells a similar story. Triton is unique among the large moons of the solar system because it orbits Neptune backwards in what is called a retrograde orbit. This is a telltale sign that Triton was not formed with Neptune. It was a wanderer from the Kuiper Belt, a dwarf planet like Pluto that strayed too close and was snared by Neptune's immense gravity, becoming its captured companion for eternity. So the world we journey towards is a world of foundlings, a system built from captured wanderers and displaced giants, a family of celestial travelers. This is why we go. We go because every question Neptune answers, it poses 3 more. We go because its impossible winds and its inner heat challenge our models of how planets work. We go because its very formation story reminds us that our solar system is not a static clockwork mechanism, but a place of immense history of migration and of beautiful cosmic accidents. To understand Neptune is to understand the wild and unpredictable nature of home. It is to learn that stability is a rare gift, and that the universe is shaped by movement and change on scales we can barely comprehend. And so, we must embrace a different sense of time. To travel to Neptune requires a patience that our terrestrial lives rarely demand. A real spacecraft, like Voyager 2, takes over a decade to make the crossing. It is a journey not of days or weeks, but of seasons of years of a significant fraction of a human life. To commit to such a voyage is an act of profound faith. Faith in the mathematics that guide the trajectory, faith in the engineering that must endure the harshness of the void for so long, and faith in the importance of the destination. In our minds, we can make the journey more swiftly, but to honor its spirit, we too must slow down. We must feel the immense silent emptiness that separates the worlds. Imagine our vessel, a tiny, intelligent spark of light and metal, coasting through the black. The sun shrinks behind us from a dazzling star to a brilliant point of light, no longer a disk, but still the brightest thing in the sky. The Earth is long gone, vanished into the sun's glare. Mars is a faint, reddish star. Jupiter a brilliant beacon. Saturn a dimmer golden point. Each one is a milestone past a marker on a road of unimaginable length. The days and nights lose their meaning. There is only the continuous silent coasting. The ship's systems hum a quiet meditative tune. The starfields outside the viewport are static, unchanging to the human eye, a fixed canvas of diamond dust. To travel this way is to understand stillness in motion. You are moving faster than any human has ever moved, and yet the overwhelming sensation is one of perfect, uninterrupted calm. It is a state of being that forces introspection. Out here in the great dark ocean between the planets, you are left with only the mission, the hum of the machinery, and the vast silent thoughts that a sky full of stars can inspire. This is the threshold of the void. It is the long corridor that leads to the outer chambers of the sun's kingdom. We have established our purpose. We seek not to conquer, but to understand. We travel toward a world of paradoxes, a world of reason and chaos, of serene beauty and supersonic violence. We have accepted the immense scales of time and distance that this pilgrimage requires. We have calibrated our hearts and minds to the slow, patient rhythm of the cosmos. Our vessel is ready. The calculations are complete. The long path has been charted. All that is left is the first and perhaps most difficult step of any great journey, the act of leaving home behind. For to truly reach for the outer darkness, we must first let go of the bright blue world that gave us birth, and watch as it shrinks behind us, becoming just another point of light in the sea of night, whirled of deep blue and swirling storms. But to reach it, we must first learn the art of the long goodbye. We must leave our own world behind. Allow your awareness to gather, not in a room, not on a bed, but within the heart of a great machine poised vertically against the curve of the earth. Feel a deep, resonant hum that is not so much heard with the ears as it is felt in the bones, in the hollows of the chest. It is the sound of immense sleeping power patiently waiting for a single command. Outside, the sky is a familiar shade of blue, perhaps streaked with the gentle white of high-altitude clouds. The air is still thick with the scent of sea salt, and damp earth the sounds of wind and distant life. This is the world you know. Every breath is an anchor to it, and then the countdown reaches its final moment. There is no violent clang, no jarring explosion. Instead, a process begins, a blossoming of controlled fire. A great column of incandescent orange and white light erupts beneath you, and the hum transforms into a foundational roar. You begin to rise, slowly at first, as if the planet itself is reluctant to let you go, fighting your ascent with the full, invisible weight of its gravity. The force presses you gently back, a firm and constant hand, holding you in place even as you climb. This is the first part of the goodbye, the struggle against what holds us. To leave a world, one must achieve what physicists call escape velocity. It is not merely about speed, but about momentum. It is the precise point at which you are moving upward so persistently that gravity's relentless pull can no longer bend your path back toward the ground. It is the moment a dandelion seed finally breaks free from the swirling eddies of wind near the grass, and catches the high, steady current that will carry it to a new field. It is the final push of a boat from the shore, after which the tide and the open water become its new reality. The roar outside intensifies, but inside a strange quietness prevails. The world you are leaving shrinks with an astonishing swiftness. Familiar coastlines and mountain ranges resolve into abstract patterns on a vast, curving map. The push against you remains constant, a reminder of the immense energy required to say this farewell. You are climbing a hill made of gravity, and the peak is the edge of space itself. And then, as suddenly as it began, the pressure ceases. The foundational roar vanishes, replaced by a silence so profound, so absolute, that it feels like a physical substance. You are weightless. You are floating. The engines that fought so hard against the planet's hold have fallen away, their duty done. You are no longer rising from something, but drifting in something. You have reached the top of the hill, and now you are coasting into the endless open valley of space. Take a slow, easy breath. There is nothing to hold you down now, nothing to resist. Allow your body to feel this new lightness, this freedom from the constant subtle effort of existence on Earth. And now turn your attention to the view. Before you, suspended in the velvet black, is your home, Earth. It hangs in the darkness, not as a landscape, not as a nation, not as a place of continents and oceans, but as a single, unified living entity. This is the sight that has transformed the perspective of every human who has ever witnessed it. They call it the overview effect. It is a cognitive shift, a reordering of what matters. From here, the borders that are so fiercely defended on the ground are invisible lines drawn on a map you can no longer see. The conflicts that consume so much human energy are silent, distant fevers on a world that appears from this vantage point to be breathtakingly peaceful. You see the swirl of a hurricane, a majestic, spiraling engine of white cloud over the deep, impossible blue of the ocean. It is not a terrifying force of destruction, but a beautiful, natural dance of pressure and temperature. You see the vast ochre expanse of the Sahara, a canvas of light and shadow, and the deep emerald green of the Amazon basin, the living lungs of the planet. At the edge of the world, where the sun is just rising or setting, you see the atmosphere, a impossibly thin, fragile ribbon of electric blue light. That delicate layer, thinner than the skin of an apple relative to its size, is all that separates the vibrant, teeming life of your world from the sterile, silent vacuum in which you now float. Every person you have ever known, every story ever told, every piece of music ever composed, every triumph and every tragedy of human history has taken place on that beautiful, shimmering sphere. It is a world of color and sound, of warmth and weather, of complexity and connection. And you are leaving it. As you watch, you see the dark side of the planet, where night has fallen. It is not an empty blackness. It is spangled with glittering webs of light cities, glowing like constellations of fallen stars. Paris, a bright jewel. The Nile, a luminous river of gold, flowing through the dark. Tokyo, a sprawling network of pure white light. Each point of light is a home, a street, a life. All of it together, creating a testament to the persistent, hopeful glow of humanity in the dark. This is the second stage of the goodbye, the change in perspective. Seeing the whole allows you to let go of the parts, the worries, the anxieties, The small, everyday frictions that seemed so large and important just hours ago now dissolve against this immense and silent backdrop. They are part of that beautiful complex system, but from here you see that the system is whole and it is resilient, and it will continue to turn long after you have gone. The feeling is not one of detachment, but of a deeper, more profound connection. A love for the whole rather than an attachment to the pieces. It is a gentle melancholy, the sadness of leaving something beautiful mixed with the serene wonder of seeing it for what it truly is for the very first time. Our journey has only just begun. The initial push of the rockets has placed us in this holding pattern, this gentle orbit. But our destination lies far beyond. To get there, we cannot rely on explosive power. The journey is too long, the distances too great. We must rely on patience. A new sound begins, though it is barely a sound at all. It is more of a whisper, a faint ethereal hum that you feel in the very structure of your vessel. A soft, blue-white glow emanates from the back of our craft, a ghostly silent flame stretching out into the void. This is the work of an ion engine. It is the heart of long-duration space travel. It does not operate on brute force, but on a principle of persistent gentle acceleration. It takes atoms of an inert gas, like xenon, and gives them an electrical charge. Then it uses powerful magnets to accelerate these charged atoms, these ions, and shoot them out into space. Each individual ion is tiny, its push infinitesimal. A single ion could not move a grain of sand. But they are expelled in a constant, unceasing stream, billions upon billions of them every second. And over time, this gentle, relentless whisper builds. Hour after hour, day after day, week after week, that whisper of force accumulates. It is the opposite of the launch. The launch was a shout. This is a sustained meditation. It is the way a river carves a canyon, not with a single powerful blow, but with the patient, steady pressure of its flow over millennia. With this ghostly blue light now guiding us, our path begins to change. Our orbit around Earth widens, spiraling outward. We begin to pull away. The planet no longer fills our view. It shrinks slowly, steadily. First, it is a grand marbled sphere, then a perfect polished ball. We drift past our own moon, seeing it not as a disk in our sky, but as a fellow world, a silent, pockmarked gray sphere hanging in the black. It has been Earth's constant companion for billions of years, a lonely sentinel. We nod to it in passing, another traveler in the quiet dark. This is the third stage of the goodbye, the commitment to the journey. The ion drive is a promise. It says, we are not coming back anytime soon. Our trajectory is no longer bound to the Earth-Moon system. We are now truly on our way into the deeper ocean of the solar system, and the only way is forward. The engine's whisper is a mantra propelling us further and further into the unknown. There is a deep peace in this. The decision has been made. The path is set. All that is left is the journey itself. Days turn into weeks. The tireless engine continues its work, and the distance between us and our home grows immense. We turn back for one last look. Earth is no longer a world of continents and clouds. It is now a brilliantly lit point of light, a star of impossible color. It shines with a piercing sapphire blue light, accompanied by the smaller, softer white light of its companion, the moon. In the field of your vision, filled with the cold, distant glitter of a billion suns, your eye is drawn to this one unique blue spark. That is everything, that tiny point of light. Carl Sagan called it the pale blue dot. a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. From this distance from out here, in the great silent expanse, you understand what he meant. The sheer shocking loneliness of our world, the profound rarity of that blue, all of our history, all of our art, all our love and all our wars, contained in a single pixel of light, barely distinguishable from the background noise. This is the final stage of the goodbye, the acceptance of distance. Earth is no longer a place you have left. It has become a memory you carry. It has transformed from a physical reality into a concept, an idea of home that now resides within you. The sensory world you once knew, the feeling of wind on your skin, the smell of rain, the warmth of the sun, the chorus of birds at dawn is gone. It has been replaced by a new reality. The reality of deep space is one of profound contrasts. It is a world of perfect black and brilliant light. There is no haze, no atmosphere to scatter the sun's rays. Shadows are absolute sharp-edged voids. Light is pure and unfiltered, a torrent of photons, traveling unimpeded for millions of miles. And above all, there is the silence. A silence that is not an absence of sound, but a presence of stillness. It is the silence of the cosmos, the background hum of space-time itself. In this silence, you can finally hear the gentle rhythm of your own breath, the slow, steady beat of your own heart. You are a small, warm, living island in an infinite cold and quiet sea. The blue star that was your home continues to shrink until eventually it merges with the tapestry of other stars. You could pick it out if you knew exactly where to look, but it no longer calls to you. It has taken its place among the others. The goodbye is complete. You have let go. And now, with the past behind you, your attention turns fully to what lies ahead. The sun is no longer an ambient sky-filling light source. It is now a star, blindingly brilliant, yes, but a distinct disk, a singular object against the black. Ahead of you, the faint, ruddy glow of Mars marks the edge of the inner solar system, the last of the rocky terrestrial worlds. Beyond it lies a vast and profound emptiness, a great chasm in the architecture of our solar system that separates the small, dense worlds of the inner court from the colossal, gaseous giants of the outer realm. Our ghostly blue engine continues to push us onward across this divide. We are entering a different kind of territory now, a region of space that is not defined by a planet, but by what failed to become a planet. Ahead of us lies a scattered kingdom of stone and ice, a place of ancient debris and cosmic memories. We are on our way to the Asteroid Belt, a silent testament to the solar system's violent and chaotic youth. Our journey forward is now a journey back in time into the echoes of creation itself. The deep, resonant hum that vibrated through your very bones has faded. The colossal pressure, the controlled violence of ascent, has given way to an absolute and profound stillness. For a time there was only the shrinking vision of home, a swirling marble of impossible blue and white cradled in the velvet black. You watched continents and oceans you knew by name recede their familiar shapes, dissolving into the grand impersonal curve of a planet. Then, even that planet became a star, a brilliant point of light, bright, but no longer overwhelming, taking its place among the countless others. The sun, too, has changed. It is no longer a warm, atmospheric blanket, but a fierce, perfect circle of light in the void, its brilliance untempered by air, casting long, sharp shadows that do not soften. This is the long goodbye. Not a singular moment, but a slow, unfolding process of distance. Weeks turn into months. The inner planets Mars, a receding cinder of red dust, and Earth, a fading sapphire spark, are now behind us, their orbits part of the celestial clockwork we are leaving in our wake. Our vessel glides now, not with the roar of engines, but on the silent, unwavering momentum of its initial thrust. It is a ghost ship, sailing an ocean of infinite calm. Its only sound, the quiet hum of life, support the gentle whir of guidance systems and the soft, rhythmic beat of your own heart. We are entering a new territory, a space between worlds, a vast and ancient borderland. On star charts, it is labeled the Asteroid Belt. The name itself conjures images of peril, of a chaotic cosmic demolition derby. We have been trained by stories to imagine a dense swarm of tumbling, jagged rocks, a gauntlet that demands daring pilots and split-second maneuvers. We picture our ship banking and weaving lasers flashing, dodging a relentless barrage of cosmic debris. The reality as it slowly unveils itself is far more subtle and infinitely more profound. The truth is that there is almost nothing here. The sky ahead is not thick with rock, but deep with emptiness. The asteroid belt is the most vacant, spacious place we have yet traveled. If you were to stand on any one of its millions of objects, your closest neighbor would on average be over 1,000,000 kilometers away, a faint star-like point of light, indistinguishable from the distant galaxies beyond. There is no dodging, no weaving. There is only the serene, majestic drift through a silence that is older than humanity. Our ship is not a fighter navigating a battlefield. It is an archaeologist's skiff floating through a field of ruins. The danger here is not collision, but the overwhelming sense of scale and time that this emptiness imparts. Every few days, our long-range sensors will register a faint signature. A course correction, infinitesimally small, is plotted. And then we drift past a silent witness. Here is one now. It appears first as a flicker against the starfield, a tiny mote of dust that refuses to twinkle. Slowly, over many hours, it resolves into something more. It is not a sphere, but a lopsided, irregular shape, like a shard of cosmic pottery. It is perhaps a dozen kilometers across a mountain, adrift in the eternal night. Its surface is a tapestry of muted grays and browns pockmarked with craters from impacts that occurred over geologic time. It tumbles slowly, a lazy, unhurried pirouette that might have begun 4 billion years ago. The sun's raw light catches a ridge, illuminating a geography that has never known wind or water, a landscape preserved in perfect vacuum. This is not just a rock, it is a fossil. It is a fragment of a dream that never came to be. Here in this vast ring between Mars and Jupiter, there was once enough raw material to build another world. Dust and gas left over from the sun's formation began to clump together. Gravity pulled these smaller pieces into larger ones, forming protoplanets or planetesimals, the building blocks of planets. In the inner solar system, these bodies collided and merged, growing over millions of years into Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. But out here, something was different. The process was interrupted. The colossal gravity of Jupiter, the shepherd king of our solar system, exerted its influence. Its immense presence acted like a great cosmic stirrer, flinging these nascent worlds into chaotic, eccentric orbits. They collided not with the gentle force of accretion, but with the shattering violence of high-speed impacts. Instead of building a planet, they broke each other apart. The asteroid belt is not the debris of a single shattered world, as was once imagined. It is the ungathered dust, the scattered bricks of a planet that was never born. As our vessel glides past this silent, tumbling monument, our instruments read its story. They taste its composition without ever touching it. Spectrometers analyze the faint, reflected sunlight and tell us of its nature. This one is rich in silicates and dark, carbonaceous compounds, a relic from the outer, cooler parts of the nebula. Another we passed yesterday was denser, a glittering chunk of iron, and nickel, the exposed core of a protoplanet that was smashed to its very heart in a collision eons ago. Its rocky mantle was blasted away, and now its metallic heart wanders the darkness alone. We are drifting through a graveyard of possibilities, an archive of creation. Each object is a time capsule, untouched by the weathering and geological recycling that constantly reshapes the surfaces of larger planets. Trapped within their frozen interiors are the very same organic molecules and water ice that may have seeded life on a young Earth. They are messages in a bottle, carrying the chemical signature of the primordial cloud from which we all emerged. Our journey to Neptune is also a journey backwards in time to the very dawn of our solar system. We are sailing on a sea of memory. And as we travel deeper into this realm, we cross an invisible line, a threshold of profound significance. It is not marked by any gate or beacon, but it is the most important border in our solar system. It is called the frost line. Think of it as a cosmic coastline drawn by the heat of the young sun. Inside this line, closer to the sun's warmth, the temperature was too high for volatile compounds like water, ammonia, and methane to condense into solid ice. They existed only as vapor. The only materials that could solidify here were rock and metal. This is why the inner planets are small, dense, and terrestrial. There simply wasn't as much solid material to build from. But out here, as we cross that invisible demarcation, everything changes. The sun is now a distant, though still brilliant star. Its heat has diminished enough that the universe's most abundant materials can freeze. Water vapor becomes ice. Methane becomes ice. Ammonia becomes ice. Suddenly, the amount of solid building material available to a forming planet increases by a factor of 10. You can feel the shift, not as a change in temperature inside our climate-controlled vessel, but as a change in the potential of the space around you. The character of the void is different. Out here, a forming planet could not only gather rock and metal, but it could also sweep up vast quantities of ice. With this added mass, its gravity grew exponentially, allowing it to pull in even more material, and eventually to capture immense atmospheres of hydrogen and helium, the lightest and most plentiful gases in the nebula. This is the secret of the giants. This is why Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune could grow to such colossal sizes. They were born beyond the frost line in the cold, abundant depths of the outer solar system. We have now officially left the small, warm neighborhood of our rocky home and entered the realm of the Ice Kings. The very dust motes that occasionally ping against our ship's hull are different now, less like grains of sand and more like microscopic snowflakes. We have crossed over, and in this crossing, in the immeasurable quiet, between these ancient floating relics, another thought begins to crystallize. A question as vast and as silent as the space we inhabit. We are here. A species born of this very stardust, now intelligent enough to build a vessel to sail through it. We arose from a single small world in a process that seems both miraculous and, given the right ingredients, perhaps inevitable. The ingredients are clearly here: carbon, water, metals, energy from a star. The building blocks are not rare. They are everywhere we look. This solar system has been stable for over 4 billion years. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, contains hundreds of billions of stars, most of them far older than our own Sun. And beyond our galaxy, there are hundreds of billions of other galaxies stretching back through cosmic time. So the question hangs in the void, unspoken but deafening in its persistence. Where is everybody? This is the great silence, the Fermi paradox. Given the sheer number of stars and planets, the age of the universe, and the commonness of life's ingredients, the cosmos should be teeming with civilizations. It should be humming with the signals of countless cultures, a chorus of voices echoing between the stars. Yet we hear nothing. We see nothing. There is only this profound, undisturbed, and beautiful emptiness. Are we truly the first? Is life an astonishingly rare fluke, a chemical accident that happened only once here? Or is there perhaps a great filter? Some evolutionary or technological hurdle so difficult that no civilization has ever managed to pass it. Perhaps they arise and then inevitably destroy themselves. Or perhaps the universe is far more dangerous than we know, and the wise civilizations are the ones who remain silent, hiding from something we cannot yet perceive. Or maybe the distance is simply too great, the gulf between stars too wide to ever be meaningfully crossed. Floating here in the quiet solitude of the asteroid belt, the paradox feels less like an intellectual puzzle and more like an emotional truth. The silence is not an absence of data. It is a presence. It is the vast, echoing quiet of a cathedral. It makes our own small journey feel both impossibly brave and infinitesimally small. Our quiet ship, with its blinking lights and humming machines, is a single thinking cell in a body of cosmic proportions, and it appears to be the only one awake. We are a question mark traveling through a library in which every book is blank. This feeling, this humbling awareness, is a crucial part of our voyage. To understand the giant world we are traveling toward, we must first understand the scale of the silence that surrounds it. We must appreciate the utter rarity of a single complex thought in the face of such overwhelming ancient simplicity. But the long coast is coming to an end. For weeks, our navigation systems have been tracking a new presence, a point of light that has grown steadily brighter, outshining every star around it. It is no longer just a point. Through our telescopes, it is now a visible disk banded with subtle shades of cream and orange. The data streaming into our computers tells a story not of emptiness, but of power. An influence is beginning to take hold of our vessel, a gentle but inexorable pull. We are entering the domain of the King, the great shepherd of the asteroid belt, the guardian of the frost line. We are no longer simply drifting. We are now falling purposefully into the gravitational embrace of a giant. Our trajectory is precise, calculated to the millimeter. We will not be consumed by this world. We will borrow its strength. We are approaching Jupiter not as a destination, but as a fulcrum, a cosmic turning point that will bend our path and hurl us with breathtaking speed into the deep, dark expanse where our true goal awaits. The silence is about to be broken by the roar of gravity itself. The deep, resonant hum that vibrated through your very bones has faded. The colossal pressure, the controlled violence of ascent, has given way to an absolute and profound stillness. For a time, there was only the shrinking vision of home, a swirling marble of impossible blue and white, cradled in the velvet black. You watched continents and oceans you knew by name recede their familiar shapes, dissolving into the grand, impersonal curve of a planet. Then, even that planet became a star, a brilliant, piercing blue point of light among countless others. And then finally it too was folded into the general tapestry of the night. The journey through the inner void was a long, patient meditation. Mars passed as a ruddy ember, a silent sleeping world of rust and dust, its ancient promise of water and life a quiet question mark in the darkness. The asteroid belt was not a field of cosmic debris as often imagined, but an ocean of emptiness punctuated by islands of rock and ice so vastly distant from one another that a direct crossing was an event of mathematical improbability. For months, for over a year, the ship was a solitary thought traversing an immense, silent mind. The sun, once a benevolent, life-giving star, had become a harsher, more distant pinpoint. Its warmth, a memory, its light, a stark, unfiltered glare that cast no shadows in the featureless void. But now, something is changing. The void is no longer featureless. Ahead, a single star has begun to distinguish itself from its brethren. It does not twinkle. It shines with a steady, imperious, golden white light. Day by day, week by week, it has grown, swelling from a point of light into a tiny, perfect disk. This is Jupiter. And you are falling toward it. You are not falling in the chaotic sense of a stone dropped from a height. This is a fall of exquisite precision, a controlled descent along a curve calculated years ago by minds and machines on a world that is now hundreds of millions of kilometers away. Yet the feeling is undeniable. The ship is no longer coasting. It is being pulled. A great gravitational tide is drawing you forward, an invisible current in the river of space-time. Jupiter, the king of planets, the slumbering giant, is beginning to exert its influence. It is a presence you feel long before you can make out its features. It is a subtle shift in the fabric of your journey, the sense that you are no longer alone in this sector of space. You are entering a new dominion. As you draw closer, the disk resolves into a world of such impossible scale that the mind struggles to find a comparison. It is a gas giant, a swirling ball of hydrogen and helium so massive it could swallow every other planet in the solar system whole, with room to spare. Its face is a masterpiece of atmospheric chaos, a canvas of amber cream and ochre bands, painted by winds that rage at hundreds of kilometers per hour. Storms larger than your entire home planet churn in its depths, great white ovals and crimson vortices that have persisted for centuries. And there in its southern hemisphere is the great red spot, an anticyclonic storm so vast, so ancient, it has become the planet's most iconic feature. It is not merely a weather pattern. It is a geological event, a permanent hurricane that could contain 3 Earths. It stares out into space like a great, unblinking eye, a testament to the raw, untamable power of this world. You are still days away, but Jupiter's family is already coming into view. One by one, 4 new stars resolve themselves around the growing planet. They are the Galilean moons, a miniature solar system in their own right, each one a world with a unique and dramatic story. They dance in a complex resonant orbit, locked in a gravitational symphony conducted by their colossal parent. The first you approach is Io. Of all the worlds you have seen, this one feels most violently, defiantly alive. Its surface is not the placid gray of our moon or the red dust of Mars. It is a nightmarish, beautiful mosaic of yellow, red-black, and white. This is the color of sulfur spewed from hundreds of active volcanoes that constantly resurface the moon. As you pass, you witness one erupting, not a plume of smoke and ash, but a fountain of silicate lava and sulfur dioxide frost, arcing hundreds of kilometers into the black, airless sky before falling back to coat the ground in a fresh layer of brilliant color. Io is a world in agony, perpetually squeezed and stretched by Jupiter's immense gravity and the pull of its neighboring moons. This tidal friction heats its interior, turning it into the most volcanically active body in the solar system. It is a wound in the flesh of space, weeping molten rock and sulfur, a place of terrible elemental beauty. Next in the celestial ballet is Europa. From a distance it appears serene, a smooth white billiard ball, streaked with fine reddish-brown lines. But as your trajectory brings you closer, you see that its surface is a global shell of water, ice-fractured and scarred. The lines are vast cracks and ridges, some stretching for thousands of kilometers, where the icy crust has pulled apart and refrozen. It is a palimpsest of scars written in ice, and beneath this frozen shell, scientists believe lies the greatest secret of the solar system, a liquid water ocean warmed by the same tidal forces that torture Io. An ocean deeper and more voluminous than all of Earth's oceans combined, shrouded in darkness, potentially harboring the conditions for life. Europa is a world of promise, a locked casket whose key lies miles beneath a ceiling of impenetrable ice. It holds its secrets close, its calm white face belying the dynamic, mysterious world churning within. Then comes Ganymede, the giant's giant. It is the largest moon in the solar system, larger even than the planet Mercury. Its surface is a study in contrasts, a geological history book open for all to see. There are dark, ancient regions, pockmarked with craters so old they have softened and slumped over billions of years, a testament to the solar system's violent youth. And then there are brighter, younger regions, covered in an intricate network of grooves and ridges. These are tectonics on an icy world, places where the crust was stretched and broken, flooding with cleaner ice from below. Ganymede is a world of deep history, its face a record of bombardment and renewal. It even possesses its own magnetic field, a ghostly bubble within Jupiter's larger, more powerful one, a moon with the ambition of a planet. Finally, you glide past the orbit of Callisto. It is the last of the four great moons, the most distant, and in many ways, the most serene. Its surface is the oldest, most heavily cratered landscape in the solar system. It is a dark, icy world that has changed little in 4 billion years. There are no great volcanoes, no hidden oceans, no vast tectonic grooves. There is only a quiet, relentless history of impacts. One feature dominates its visible face. The Valhalla Impact Basin, a multi-ring structure nearly 4,000 kilometers across, the ghostly ripple effect of a cataclysmic impact frozen in time. Callisto is the patient, silent archivist of the Jovian system, a world that simply endured, collecting scars as its siblings churned and cracked and spewed fire. It is a testament to the profound age of the cosmos. To see these four worlds in a single passage is to witness the sheer generative power of gravity. Jupiter is not just a planet. It is a creative force, a shepherd of worlds, each with its own character, its own physics, its own soul. But their beauty is a prelude. Your purpose here is not to linger. It is to use the giant. The ship is now accelerating rapidly. The maneuver is about to begin. The concept is simple, elegant, and audacious, a gravity assist. You will not fight Jupiter's gravity. You will surrender to it. You will fall into its immense gravitational well, allowing the planet's momentum to pull you along. The ship will swing around the gas giant, a tiny mote of matter, executing a perfect parabolic arc. In this cosmic dance, you will steal an infinitesimal fraction of Jupiter's orbital energy. For the planet, the loss is less than negligible. For your tiny vessel, the gain is monumental. It is a slingshot maneuver that will bend your trajectory and hurl you toward the outer solar system at a velocity you could never achieve with fuel alone. It is a gravitational handshake that gives far more than it takes. But the dance is dangerous. You must thread a precise needle through space-time. Too close, and Jupiter's gravity will capture you forever, pulling you into a permanent, lonely orbit. Or worse, tearing the ship apart with its tidal forces. Too far, and the boost will be insufficient, leaving you stranded in the void with a mission failed. And there is another invisible danger, Jupiter's magnetosphere. The planet spins with ferocious speed, dragging its powerful magnetic field with it. This field traps a torus of charged particles, a lethal storm of radiation thousands of times more intense than Earth's Van Allen belts. Your path has been calculated to fly through this storm as quickly as possible, your ship's shielding working at its maximum capacity to protect the sensitive electronics and the fragile human life within. The world outside the viewport is now entirely filled with Jupiter. You are skimming its cloud tops, a mere 42,000 kilometers above the swirling ammonia ice crystals. There is no sense of up or down. There is only the planet, a boundless, churning ocean of gas that stretches to every horizon. You are inside its aura, a part of its system. The subtle hum of the radiation shielding is a constant reminder of the invisible tempest raging just beyond the hull. Colors and textures rush past at incredible speed. You see lightning flashes within the clouds, electrical discharges more powerful than any terrestrial storm. You see the shadows of the inner moons racing across the cloud deck, ephemeral eclipses on a world without a solid surface. The feeling of acceleration is immense. It is not the violent, artificial push of a rocket engine, but a smooth, relentless, and absolute pull from the universe itself. You are a stone in a slingshot, being drawn back for the final decisive throw. The curve of your trajectory is at its tightest. The sun, a distant star, is eclipsed by the bulk of Jupiter. For a few minutes, you are plunged into a profound twilight, illuminated only by the faint reflected glow of the planet's own aurora's shimmering curtains of light that dance at its poles, driven by the volcanic particles from Io. It is a moment of sublime terror and awe. You are utterly at the mercy of this giant, held in the palm of its gravitational hand. And then as quickly as it began, it is over. You emerge from behind the planet, back into the stark light of the distant sun. The maneuver is complete. The ship has been released. You are no longer falling toward Jupiter. You are flying away from it faster than you have ever moved before. The slingshot has worked. The view in the rear-facing camera is breathtaking. Jupiter is receding its great red spot, shrinking its beautiful chaotic bands, resolving back into a perfect striped sphere. Its family of moons, once individual worlds, are collapsing back into points of light, resuming their eternal dance around their king. The ship is quiet now. The acceleration has ceased. The only sound is the gentle thrum of life support. But the silence that follows is different. It is deeper. It is the silence of the abyss. You have crossed a threshold. Jupiter was the great shepherd, the guardian of the inner solar system. Now it is behind you. In front of you lies the true outer dark, a colder, emptier, and vastly more spacious realm. The journey to Jupiter was a voyage. The journey from it is an exile, a willing leap into a different order of reality. You are now an arrow loosed from Jupiter's bow, aimed at the farthest, faintest frontiers of the sun's dominion. The psychological shift is palpable. The solar system feels larger, and you feel correspondingly smaller, more isolated, yet more purposeful than ever before. Looking forward into the star-dusted blackness, there is nothing to see but the faint, familiar constellations. But you know they are there, the next great milestones of your journey. Ahead, another point of light, so faint it is almost imperceptible, will slowly begin to resolve itself. It will take years to reach it. It is a world defined not by storms, but by a quiet, impossible elegance. Saturn, with its silent gossamer rings, waits in the patient dark. And beyond it, another fainter still, a pale blue-green mystery on its side. Uranus. The long, solitary cruise has begun a time for reflection as you traverse the great cold silence between the giants. The deep, resonant hum that vibrated through your very bones has faded. The colossal pressure, the controlled violence of ascent, has given way to an absolute and profound stillness. For a time there was only the shrinking vision of home, a swirling marble of impossible blue and white, cradled in the velvet black. You watched continents and oceans you knew by name recede their familiar shapes, dissolving into the grand, impersonal curve of a planet. Then, even that planet became a star, a brilliant, distant point of hope and memory, lost among countless others. Now that memory is years behind you. The days and nights have blurred into a single continuous state of being measured, not by the turning of a world, but by the quiet hum of life support and the slow, inexorable march of the mission clock. This is the great cruise, the long silence between worlds. The emptiness out here is not empty at all. It is filled with a presence, a quiet so immense, it has a weight and texture of its own. It presses gently against the hull of your vessel, a constant reminder of the scale of your journey. You have become a creature of this void, your thoughts stretching to fill the space around you. The discipline of such a voyage is not in the moments of high drama, but in the stewardship of the quiet hours. It is an exercise in profound patience, a long-form meditation. You maintain the ship's systems, poring over telemetry that speaks a language of pressures, temperatures, and energy flows. You tend to the small hydroponic garden, a pocket of impossible green in the sterile environment, its earthy scent a ghost of a life left far behind. And you watch. Your primary task is to be a silent, vigilant observer, a single point of consciousness sailing through the grand, unfeeling architecture of the solar system. This solitude is a crucible. It could sharpen the mind to a razor's edge, or it could wear it down with the slow, abrasive friction of infinite monotony. You have learned its rhythms. You have found a strange comfort in the predictability of your small, self-contained universe. The ship is no longer just a vehicle. It is a monastery, a hermitage on an orbit of unimaginable scope. And in this hermitage, you await the signs, the celestial milestones that mark your passage through the outer dark. The first of these markers has been growing for months. What began as a brighter than average star, a steady yellowish spark, has slowly, patiently resolved itself into a disk, and with it, a faint ethereal structure that defies geometry. It is Saturn. Even from this immense distance, its presence is regal, serene, and utterly magnificent. It is not a world you will visit, merely one you will pass, a silent lord whose domain you traverse with respect. As you draw nearer, the planet swells in the viewport, a sphere of pale butterscotch and cream banded with subtle storm-whipped clouds. It is a giant, yes, but a gentle one. Unlike the chaotic, violent beauty of Jupiter-Saturn, exudes an aura of ancient calm. Its storms are vast, capable of swallowing Earth whole, yet from here they appear as soft, painterly strokes on a serene canvas. This is a world of gas, a colossal ball of hydrogen and helium so light it would float in an ocean vast enough to hold it. It has no true surface, only a gradual descent into crushing pressure, where gas becomes a strange liquid metal under the strain of its own gravity. But it is the rings that command your attention, that pull your thoughts into their impossible structure. They are not solid. You know this intellectually, but to see them is to have that knowledge transformed into wonder. They are a shimmering, translucent disk of light, a celestial halo that seems less like a physical object and more like a manifestation of pure geometry. They stretch for hundreds of thousands of kilometers, yet in most places they are no thicker than a multi-story building. They are a razor's edge of impossible thinness, a river of frozen light flowing in a perfect silent circle. Your long-range sensors begin to resolve their nature. The rings are not a single entity, but a chorus of trillions upon trillions of individual voices. They are composed almost entirely of water-ice particles, ranging from the size of dust motes to the size of mountains, each one a tiny independent moon orbiting in perfect gravitational harmony. Each particle catches the distant sun's light and reflects it, and it is the combined glimmer of these countless frozen shards that creates the breathtaking luminous whole. You watch them for weeks. You see the fine, delicate gaps between them, the Cassini division, a dark, empty lane carved by the subtle gravitational nudging of the moon mimas. You see the faint, thread-like structures, the spokes and braids that hint at a complex dance of electromagnetism and gravity. It is a system of sublime order born from primordial chaos, perhaps the remains of a shattered moon that strayed too close, its icy body pulverized by the giant's tidal forces and spread into this exquisite shimmering memorial. There is a lesson here in this silent circling river of ice. It speaks of how countless small, insignificant parts can come together to create something of transcendent beauty. It is a metaphor for the atoms that make your own body, for the individual thoughts that form a consciousness, for the single quiet moments that constitute a life. Each particle in that ring is on its own lonely journey, yet it is part of a collective grandeur it can never perceive. You too are a single particle on a long trajectory, a part of a grander human endeavor, and in this moment you feel a kinship with this silent, majestic world. Observing Saturn is also a crucial part of your scientific mission. It is the last great gas giant on your path. Understanding its composition, its atmosphere of hydrogen and helium, provides the essential baseline for what comes next. For you are traveling from the realm of the gas giants into a new stranger territory, the realm of the ice giants. The two worlds that lie ahead, Uranus and your final destination, Neptune, are fundamentally different creatures. They are smaller, denser, and made of heavier things. The language of your mission will soon need to change from the vocabulary of gas to the lexicon of ice. Saturn recedes. Its perfect rings shrink their structure, collapsing back into a single shining line, and then a bright point of light. The solitude returns deeper now, seasoned with the memory of what you have seen. The journey continues into an even more profound emptiness. The space between Saturn and Uranus is a chasm of quiet, a stretch of the solar system so vast and sparsely populated that it feels like a different universe altogether. The Sun is now a fiercely bright but distinctly small star. Its warmth is a distant memory, a concept rather than a sensation. The ship's systems work harder to maintain your small bubble of life, a tiny spark of warmth adrift in an ocean of absolute cold. Months turn into another year. The monotony is a physical presence, a hum in the background of your consciousness. You recite poems from memory. You work through complex mathematical problems. You review the mission parameters again and again, your mind a well-honed tool kept sharp against the whetstone of isolation. You are no longer just traveling through space. You are inhabiting it. Your sense of scale has been permanently recalibrated. Distances that would be mythic on Earth are now simply legs of a journey. 1 billion kilometers is a number on a navigation chart, a stretch of time to be managed with patience and routine. Then a new point of light begins to distinguish itself from the starfield. It is faint small and has a curious greenish-blue tint. It is Uranus, the sideways planet, the next great waypoint. As your vessel adjusts its trajectory for the long-range flyby, the world slowly grows, but it is nothing like Jupiter or Saturn. There are no dramatic swirling bands of color, no chaotic planet-sized storms. Uranus is serene, almost featureless. It is a smooth, pale aquamarine sphere hanging in the blackness like a polished stone. Its beauty is not in its complexity, but in its stark, minimalist simplicity. It is a world wrapped in a deep, cold, hazy atmosphere that hides whatever turmoil might lie beneath. What makes Uranus truly bizarre is not its appearance, but its orientation. Somewhere in the deep past, a cataclysmic impact, perhaps from a protoplanet the size of Earth, knocked this giant onto its side. It has an axial tilt of 98 degrees. It does not spin like the other planets. It rolls. You are witnessing a world whose north and south poles lie nearly in the plane of its orbit. As it follows its 84-year path around the Sun, it experiences the most extreme seasons imaginable. For a quarter of its year, one pole faces the Sun in continuous daylight, while the other is plunged into a decades-long winter of absolute darkness. Then, as it continues its orbit, the Sun appears to rise on the horizon and travel in a vast circle around the sky. To watch it is to feel a sense of profound cosmic vertigo. It is a powerful lesson in the sheer contingency of the universe. There is no single right way for a world to be. Uranus is a quiet rebellion against the orderly, upright spin of its neighbors. It reminds you that the cosmos is filled with oddities, with exceptions to the rules, with unique histories written in the language of gravity and collision. Here you deploy probes and conduct deep scans, for this is the true beginning of your primary mission. Uranus is the template for Neptune. It is an ice giant. This name is a little misleading. It isn't a solid ball of ice. Deep beneath its hydrogen and helium atmosphere lies its secret. The bulk of the planet is a hot, dense, swirling fluid mixture of water, methane, and ammonia the ices from which it formed. These materials are not frozen solid, but are compressed by unimaginable pressures and heated to thousands of degrees, a churning superpressurized ocean or slushy mantle that constitutes most of the planet's mass. This is what separates it from Saturn. It is a world not of gas, but of supercritical fluid, a strange state of matter born in the cold, distant reaches of the solar nebula. Your sensors taste its magnetic field, and even that is strange. It is not centered on the planet's core, nor is it aligned with its rotational axis. It is tilted offset and messy, as if it's generated in a turbulent conductive layer high up in that icy mantle rather than deep within its heart. Everything about this place is askew, off-kilter, a quiet enigma. It has its own system of faint, dark rings, thin as pencil lines, and a family of small, icy moons named not for figures of classical mythology, but for the spirits and sprites of English literature: Ariel Umbriel, Titania, Oberon Miranda. You watch Miranda for a time, a tiny battered moon that looks as though it was shattered, and then haphazardly reassembled its surface, a chaotic jumble of canyons, cliffs, and mismatched terrains. It is another testament to a violent past, a story of cosmic trauma preserved in frozen rock. The flyby is a period of intense focused work, a welcome break in the long quiet. But soon it too is over. Uranus, the pale blue-green marble, begins to shrink behind you. The ship's long journey is nearing its final phase. You have passed all the sentinels: Jupiter the king, Saturn the lord of the rings, Uranus the quiet oddity. Each one has taught you something about the solar system and about yourself. You have navigated the grandest and most desolate wilderness known to humanity. The solitude is no longer a challenge to be endured, but a familiar companion, a state of being that has allowed for this depth of observation, this clarity of thought. Ahead, there is only the darkness. But it is a different kind of darkness now. It is not empty. It is a focused darkness, a darkness with a destination at its heart. For years, your target has been a mere abstraction, a set of coordinates, a name on a mission chart. But now it is real. Out in that velvet void, a single unwavering point of light glows with a deeper, richer blue than anything you have seen before. It is no longer just another star in the firmament. It is a place. The ship is perfectly silent as it sails on its long passage through the outer worlds complete. Every system is aligned, every calculation refined. All the years of travel, all the silent observations of the giants now behind you have been a prelude to this final approach. That distant blue spark seems to be pulling you in a siren call from the edge of the sun's light. After so long in the quiet emptiness, the feeling is unmistakable. It is the subtle, thrilling shift from watching the universe go by to arriving at a part of it. The sapphire in the dark is waiting, and it is finally beginning to grow. For years, the universe outside your viewport has been a constant, a static masterpiece of diamond dust stars on black velvet. The sun, your distant anchor, became just the brightest of these stars. Its warmth, a memory; its light, a guide. The other planets were brief, beautiful encounters in the rearview mirror: the fiery spark of Mars, the stately glow of Jupiter, the pale, ringed elegance of Saturn. But they were always farewells. For 12 years, your gaze has been fixed forward toward a single, unremarkable point of light, a point that held a promise, a point that was not a destination, but a destiny. Now, The quiet hum of the life support systems is the only sound, a gentle rhythm marking the passage of time in a place where time itself feels thin and stretched. The coasting phase, the long silent fall through the outer dark, is ending, and that point of light is changing. It no longer twinkles like its distant cousins. It holds a steady, serene presence. It has begun to resolve. This is the first sign, the first whisper from the edge of the solar system that the void is not empty. You are approaching something real. The ship's automated systems, your silent companions on this epic voyage, begin to stir. A soft chime, barely audible, echoes through the cabin. On the main display, a single vector realigns. A tiny course correction, a nudge measured in millimeters per second, but across the immense astronomical distances, it is the difference between a fleeting flyby and a true homecoming. You feel a faint vibration underfoot, a ghost of motion. It is the gentle exhalation of attitude thrusters, infinitesimally small puffs of gas spinning the craft, aligning its primary sensors, its unblinking eyes toward the target, toward Neptune. This is not like approaching a rocky shore from the sea. It is more like a deep-sea dive into an ocean of impossible scale. You have been sinking for more than a decade through the sunlit upper layers, and now you are descending into the twilight zone, where the sun is a feeble memory, and the only light comes from the strange, self-luminous beings of the deep. Neptune is the first of these beings, and slowly, patiently, it begins to reveal its color. At first, it is not something you see, but something you feel. The ship's long-range spectrometer, an instrument designed to taste light, is the first to detect it. The data streams in, not as images, but as pure information, a series of elegant curves and spikes on a monitor. And there, buried in the spectral signature, is a deep dramatic absorption in the red and infrared parts of the spectrum. It is the signature of methane gas drinking in the faint red light of the distant sun and reflecting only the deepest, purest blues and indigos. The science tells you the reason, but your soul translates the data into a feeling, the color of profound cold, of ancient ice, of a sky that has never known warmth. Days melt into weeks. The point of light reluctantly swells, surrendering its stellar disguise. It becomes a disk, a tiny, perfect circle of blue etched against the black. This is a moment of profound transformation. A star is a point of fire, a symbol of distance. A disk is a place. It has dimension. It has a surface. It has edges. You can imagine flying over it, around it. For the first time, Neptune ceases to be an abstract coordinate on a star chart and becomes a world. You find yourself spending hours at the viewport, magnified by the ship's optics. The blue is no longer just an idea delivered by a sensor. It is a visible truth. But it is not a simple uniform color. It is a living, shifting palette. There are veins of pale cyan, hints of soft aquamarine, and vast, dominant swathes of a blue, so deep it verges on black, a sapphire, seen through midnight. It is a color that seems to absorb the very light around it, pulling the darkness into itself. You realize you are not just looking at a color, you are looking into it. The way one looks into the depths of an ocean, wondering what lies beneath the surface. The ship continues its slow gravitational descent. The thrusters whisper again, another minute correction. Each maneuver is a delicate ballet choreographed years ago by minds back on Earth, calculated to thread a gravitational needle. Too fast, and you will skip off Neptune's gravity, well, like a stone on a pond. too slow, and you will fall into a trajectory that requires too much fuel to correct. Everything must be perfect. The weight of the 12-year journey of the thousands of people who work to make it possible rests in these final gentle nudges. You feel a strange mixture of absolute peace and profound tension. It is the calm of the surgeon before the first incision, the focus of the artist before the first stroke. All the preparation, all the dreaming has led to this singular unfolding present. The sphere grows. What was once a flat disk now shows the subtle shading of a three-dimensional world. A soft terminator, the line between day and night, crawls across its face. It is a gentle, fuzzy boundary, not the sharp, crisp line of the moon, because you are seeing it through a deep, thick atmosphere. The planet is breathing. Its sheer scale begins to defy comprehension. You know the numbers 4 times the diameter of Earth, a giant of ice and gas. But to see it swell in the viewport, to watch it slowly consume the starfield behind it, is to understand size in a way no number can convey. You feel your own smallness, the delicate fragility of your ship, this tiny warm seed of life in an immensity of cold, majestic indifference. And yet you are not afraid. You are filled with a sense of awe that quiets all fear. You are a witness. A new series of chimes signals the next phase. The primary science instruments, dormant for much of the journey to conserve power and protect their sensitive components, begin to awaken. It is a slow, methodical sequence. Heaters gently warm cryogenic sensors. Protective covers retract with near-silent clicks. High-gain antennas pivot, listening for the faintest whispers from the planet below. The ship is unfurling its senses. The magnetometer extends its long boom, reaching out like a hand to feel the shape and strength of Neptune's magnetic field. The infrared radiometer begins taking the planet's temperature, searching for the telltale glow of internal heat, the faint warmth radiating from its core. The gravity wave detector begins to listen for the ripples in space-time caused by the churning, super-dense fluids deep within. The first data streams are not yet images, but something more elemental. They are the planet's vital signs. The magnetometer reports a field that is powerful, but strangely tilted and offset from the planet's core, a lopsided, chaotic heart. It is not the orderly, predictable field of Jupiter or Earth. It is the field of a world with a turbulent, mysterious interior. Then comes the thermal data. A shiver of surprise runs through you as you see the readings. Neptune, the 8th and most distant major planet from the Sun, so far away that sunlight is 900 times weaker than on Earth, is warmer than it should be. It radiates more than twice the energy it receives from the Sun. From deep within its core, some unknown process is churning out heat, a slow burning furnace that drives its atmosphere and shapes its climate. This is not a dead frozen ball of ice. It is a living, breathing, heat-generating world. And then, the first hints of its weather. The atmospheric sensors, tasting the thin, outermost wisps of its gaseous envelope, detect incredible velocities. Even hundreds of thousands of kilometers out, the data suggests winds of unimaginable speed. Faint patterns begin to emerge in the deep blue, subtle bands of lighter cloud, elongated wisps that are the first visible signs of these titanic storms. The ship's computers begin to model them, translating the raw data into visualizations. On the screen, ghostly lines of force and flow are superimposed over the growing image of the planet. It is a world wrapped in jet streams that move faster than the speed of sound. You are approaching the windiest planet in the solar system. As Neptune fills more and more of the viewport, a strange sense of time dilation takes hold. The 12 years it took to get here feel like a dream, a long, quiet prelude to this one moment. Every memory of Earth, the feeling of rain, the smell of soil, the sound of a human voice without a radio's filter, feels like it belongs to another lifetime, to another person. Here, there is only the ship, the silence, and the great blue world waiting for you. The anxiety that had been a low hum in the background for years has transformed into a sharp, crystalline focus. The triumph is not bombastic or loud. It is a deep, quiet, resonant satisfaction. The promise of that tiny point of light has been kept. You are now closer to Neptune than Earth is to its own moon. The planet no longer looks like a sphere. It is a landscape, a curving horizon of infinite blue. You can see texture in the clouds, depth in the swirling patterns. You can almost feel the cold seeping through the hull, a psychic chill that has nothing to do with the ship's internal temperature. You are a deep-sea explorer, and your submersible is now just meters above the seabed of an alien ocean. All the instruments are active, all systems are green. The final orbital insertion burn is moments away. The ship turns, positioning its main engine to fire against the direction of travel. This is the most critical moment, the braking burn. For a few precious minutes, the ship will once again come alive with the thunder of controlled power, shedding the immense velocity it built up over 12 years of falling toward the sun and then away from it. This burn will tame its trajectory, bending it from a straight, fleeting line into a closed, repeating ellipse. It will turn the ship from a visitor into a satellite, from an observer into a resident. The planet now fills your entire field of view. There is no more blackness of space, only the endless, hypnotic, churning blue. It is a canvas of impossible storms and unimaginable pressures, a world of diamond rain and winds that break the sound barrier. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the gentle vibration of the ship as the final countdown begins. You have crossed the great ocean between worlds, not to conquer, but to understand. And as the ship braces for the fire that will bind it to this sapphire in the dark, you feel the first true gust of the new world you have come to call home. For 12 years, your gaze has been fixed forward toward a single, unwavering pinprick of azure light. Now that pinprick has grown, swallowing the velvet blackness, until it is no longer a destination, but a world. It fills your entire field of view, a colossal sphere of impossible blues, and the time for coasting is over. The time for arrival has come. The silence inside your vessel, a companion for more than a decade, is broken by a low, resonant hum. It is the sound of awakening systems of gyroscopes, spinning to life, of cooling pumps, circulating fluid in preparation for the most critical burn of the entire voyage. Outside the planet, Neptune waits, a serene, silent giant. But its silence is deceptive. It is a siren of gravity, its immense mass pulling you faster and faster, a cosmic whirlpool threatening to fling you back out into the interstellar dark if this single elegant maneuver is not performed with absolute perfection. Your ship begins to pivot, a slow, deliberate turn that feels monumental. The starfield slides across your viewport, a familiar cosmic map rearranging itself. The distant sun, now a brilliant but lonely star, is eclipsed by the great blue limb of the planet you have come to meet. The maneuver is a paradox of motion. To stay here, you must first slow down. Immensely. You are hurtling toward Neptune at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour, a velocity that must be shed to be captured by its embrace. The engine dormant for so long is about to perform its final, most powerful act. A timer on your display counts down the final seconds. 5, 4. You feel the tension in the very frame of the ship, a held breath of metal and wire. 3, 2, 1. A deep, gut-vibrating shudder runs through the deck. It is not a violent roar, but a powerful, sustained push, a force you feel in your bones. This is the orbital insertion burn. For long, tense minutes, your vessel is a firefly, fighting the tide, its engine a blazing testament to human ingenuity, pushing against the momentum of a 12-year journey. You are braking against the universe itself. The pressure is constant, a gentle but insistent hand pressing you into your seat. Every calculation, every line of code written years ago by minds on a world now impossibly far away is being tested in this moment. The ship's trajectory must be bent just so, skimming the upper atmosphere without burning up, slowing just enough to allow Neptune's gravity to shift from a threat to an anchor. It is a needle being threaded through a keyhole 4.5 billion kilometers from home. The burn continues each second an eternity. The blue giant outside is no longer a static painting. It is a rushing landscape. You see the high-altitude clouds, wisps of frozen methane sliding past at incredible speed. The world feels alive and you are flying on the very edge of its breath. Then, as planned, is simulated 1,000,000 times before the engine cuts out. The deep thrumming ceases, and the silence that returns is different. It is not the empty silence of the void, but the full weighted silence of arrival. You are no longer falling past Neptune. You are falling around it. You are in orbit. You unstrap and drift to the main observatory viewport, the largest single window ever sent this deep into space. And there it is, your home for the foreseeable future. A world that has known only the fleeting glance of a single flyby probe decades ago is now your constant companion. The view steals the air from your lungs. No image, no simulation could ever prepare you for the reality. Neptune is not one blue, but 1,000. It is a living palette of color, from the deep royal indigo of its equatorial bands to the soft pale cerulean of its polar regions. It is the blue of a twilight sky reflected in a perfectly still lake, the blue of a sapphire's heart, the blue of ink bleeding into water. This profound color is born of a simple, beautiful act of physics. Sunlight, the faint, weakened sunlight of the outer solar system, streams down into the planet's upper atmosphere. There, vast quantities of methane gas act as a cosmic filter. The methane absorbs the longer, redder wavelengths of light, letting only the shorter, bluer wavelengths escape back into space to greet you. The planet is breathing in the faint warmth of the sun and exhaling this impossible, soul-stirring blue. As your first orbit begins a 90-minute journey around this giant, you begin to see the details that tell the planet's true story. Streaking across the deep blue canvas are impossibly bright white clouds. They look delicate like cirrus clouds on a perfect summer's day back on Earth. But here they are not water ice. They are crystals of frozen methane skating on the edge of the atmosphere. And they are moving with a speed that defies all earthly comparison. On Earth, the most violent hurricane is a terrifying spectacle of nature's power. Here, these gentle-looking clouds are tracers for winds that scream silently at over 2,000 kilometers per hour. They are the fastest planetary winds in the entire solar system, supersonic currents of gas flowing through an atmosphere of hydrogen, helium, and methane. Looking at them, you feel a profound cognitive dissonance. You are witnessing a serene, silent ballet that is in reality a storm of unimaginable violence. The planet's calm blue face is a mask concealing a chaos of forces that would tear any probe, any ship to atoms if it descended any deeper. This world is a masterpiece of frightening beauty, a sleeping giant whose dreams are hurricanes. Your orbit carries you over the northern hemisphere, where the blue softens to a delicate, milky aquamarine. Long linear cloud features stretch for thousands of kilometers, evidence of atmospheric jet streams, rivers of wind carving paths around the globe. You are seeing the planet's weather in real time. Not the slow seasonal crawl of Earth's climate, but a dynamic churning system playing out on a scale that humbles the imagination. Then, as the planet continues its slow, majestic rotation beneath you, a new feature begins to emerge from the receding darkness of the limb. It is not a cloud, but an absence. A patch of blue so dark it looks like a hole punched through the atmosphere, a window into the planet's deeper, more mysterious heart. This is the fabled Great Dark Spot, or at least where one used to be. The one Voyager 2 photographed was a storm system as large as the Earth itself, a colossal anticyclone churning with unimaginable energy. But years later, when telescopes on Earth peered back, it had vanished. Another had appeared in the northern hemisphere, only to fade in its turn. The spot rotating into your view now is a new one. A young one, its edges still sharp and defined. It is a void, a bruise on the face of the planet. Around its edges, bright companion clouds, like sea foam on the edge of a maelstrom, flicker into existence and are torn apart. This storm is not a permanent feature like Jupiter's great red spot. It is a transient ghost, a testament to the planet's restless, ever-changing nature. It is a mystery that speaks to the very heart of this world. Why do these planet-sized storms form, and where do they go when they die? Do they sink back into the depths, their energy dissipated? Or are they torn apart by the shear of the supersonic winds? To gaze upon it is to gaze upon a question, mark the size of a world. You watch it mesmerized by its scale, by its sheer silent power, and by its impermanence. A storm that could swallow your home world whole is on the timescale of the cosmos, as fleeting as a summer cloud. Your trajectory now takes you toward the terminator, the line that divides day from night. The transition is not sudden. The quality of the light begins to change. The blues deepening, the shadows lengthening. The sun, a tiny, brilliant point of light, sinks toward the curved horizon. For a moment, the planet's tenuous ring system becomes visible. Unlike Saturn's glorious icy halo, Neptune's rings are faint, dark, and dusty, like ghostly circles drawn in charcoal around the blue sphere. They are made of dark, carbonaceous material, barely reflecting the dying light. They are subtle, almost shy a secret the planet only reveals at dusk and dawn. As you slip over the line and into darkness, the view changes completely. The planet is no longer a source of color, but a vast black disk eclipsing the stars. This is the night side of Neptune, but it is not without its own light. You dim the ship's internal lights and let your eyes adjust. Deep within the atmosphere, far below the methane clouds, you begin to see them faint, flickering flashes of lightning. They are not the bright stabbing bolts of earthly storms, but massive sheet lightning illuminating colossal cloud banks from within for a fraction of a second. Each flash reveals a momentary glimpse of a deeper hidden layer of the planet's structure, a world of water ammonia clouds and pressures 1,000,000 times greater than on Earth. Each flicker is a reminder that the storm you see on the surface is just the foam on a deep, dark, violent ocean of gas. The journey across the night side is a time for contemplation. The sheer isolation of your position settles upon you not as a fear, but as a profound truth. You are a solitary consciousness, witnessing a world that has spun in darkness and silence for 4.5 billion years. Its beauty was not made for you. Its storms do not rage for an audience. It simply is. And to be here to see it is a privilege that transcends words. You are a temporary custodian of this view, a fleeting witness to a timeless grandeur. Before long, a sliver of impossible blue begins to glow on the horizon. Sunrise. The sun's faint rays refract through the high atmosphere, creating a brilliant blue arc that grows with agonizing slowness. The light creeps back across the cloud tops, repainting the world in its familiar hues. The first orbit is complete. You have circumnavigated an alien world. The ship has settled. The systems are stable. You have arrived. A sense of calm, of profound accomplishment washes over you. The tension of the journey is gone, replaced by the quiet wonder of being. This will be your life now, these orbits, this view, this silent, windswept giant. But Neptune is not alone in this deep, cold darkness. It is the anchor of a complex system, a family of moons, each a world in its own right. As your vessel stabilizes its long-term observation path, your attention and the ship's powerful sensors begin to turn outward. Your gaze drifts past the smaller inner moons, dark chunks of captured rock. It drifts toward the largest of them, a bright, cantaloupe-skinned sphere that moves with a strange retrograde grace. It orbits the wrong way, a rebel against the solar system's primordial spin. From this distance, it is a point of intrigue, but you know that its serene appearance, like that of its parent planet, hides a heart of cold, violent fire. Your next destination awaits. The journey to the blue giant is over, but the exploration of its greatest secret, the bizarre and beautiful moon Triton, is about to begin. The low hum of the vessel is a steadying presence, a quiet reminder that you are here now at the edge of the sun's dominion. Neptune hangs before you, a masterpiece of celestial art, its deep blue hues woven with wisps of white methane ice clouds that drift like memories across its face. For days you have orbited this giant, cataloging its storms, measuring its winds, and listening to the faint crackle of its magnetosphere. You have fulfilled the primary mission. You have touched the face of the unknown. But the journey is not quite complete. There is one last port of call, one final enigmatic world that beckons. Your vessel gently adjusts its trajectory, a minute correction that shifts the colossal blue sphere of Neptune from the center of your view. It glides to the side, becoming a magnificent backdrop for the true final subject of your exploration. At first, it is a small, bright disk, but it grows steadily, resolving into a world of startling complexity. This is Triton. Neptune, for all its storms and its impossible color, feels familiar in its grandeur. It is a gas giant, a sibling to Jupiter and Saturn, following the rules of planetary formation you have come to understand. But Triton feels different. It feels ancient and wild and fundamentally wrong. As you draw closer, The first sign of its strangeness becomes not a visual, but a matter of celestial mechanics. Every major moon in the solar system orbits its planet in the same direction that the planet spins a motion called prograde. It is the lingering signature of their shared birth, a cosmic family dancing in unison. Triton dances backwards. Its orbit is retrograde, a lonely procession against the flow of the entire Neptunian system. It is a celestial immigrant, a stranger from a distant land. The calculations confirm what astronomers on Earth had long suspected. Triton was not born here. It is a captured object, a wanderer from the Kuiper Belt, that vast frozen halo of cosmic debris beyond the orbit of Neptune. Long ago, in an event of unimaginable scale, it strayed too close, and Neptune's immense gravity ensnared it. It became a moon, but it never forgot its origins. It remains an outsider, a ghost from the solar system's dawn, forever circling its captor in defiance. This knowledge hangs in the quiet of your vessel as you slip into orbit around the captured moon. The surface comes into focus, and it is unlike anything you have ever seen. There is no other word for it. The terrain looks like the skin of a cantaloupe. Vast wrinkled plains are crosshatched with ridges and troughs, creating a complex repeating pattern that speaks of a bizarre geological history. This is not the familiar landscape of craters and basins left by ancient impacts. This is a surface that has been shaped from within a world that has been resurfaced, remade time and time again. The colors are subtle, painted by a sun that is now more than 4 billion kilometers away. The light here is 1,000 times dimmer than on Earth, a perpetual silvery twilight. Yet in this faint glow, Triton reveals its palette. The surface has a pinkish hue, the result of nitrogen ice being irradiated by faint sunlight over billions of years, creating complex organic molecules called tholins. This gentle pink is streaked with darker patches, long shadowy lines that seem to point away from a common source. They look like smudges, like dark powder sprinkled across the frozen landscape. You guide your sensors over a region known as the South Polar Cap. Here the pinkish tint gives way to a brighter, almost glaring sheet of white. This is a seasonal cap of frozen nitrogen and methane, so cold that the very air has solidified and fallen like snow. The temperature on Triton's surface hovers at a staggering -235 degrees Celsius or 38 Kelvin. It is one of the coldest known places in the entire solar system. At this temperature, rock is as hard as diamond and ice behaves like granite. It seems impossible that such a deeply frozen world could have any activity, any life in the geological sense. It should be a static, silent museum of cosmic cold. And yet, the dark streaks tell a different story. You focus your high-resolution imagers on one of the sources of these dark plumes, and then you see it. It is a sight so unexpected, so contrary to the laws of this frozen kingdom, that it takes a moment to comprehend. From a small, dark fissure in the nitrogen ice, a plume is erupting. It is not a volcano of fire and molten rock. There is no heat here, no inferno. This is a cryovolcano, an ice volcano. You watch mesmerized as a column of dark gaseous nitrogen mixed with entrained dust and ice crystals shoots straight up from the surface. It rises in a near-perfect vertical line, propelled by a small amount of heat from Triton's interior, perhaps from tidal forces generated by Neptune's pull, or the slow decay of radioactive elements in its core. The plume climbs higher and higher into Triton's incredibly thin atmosphere, an atmosphere 100,000 times less dense than Earth's. It reaches an altitude of 8 kilometers, where it encounters the faint, high-altitude winds of this strange world. The wind catches the top of the plume, shearing it off, and pushing it sideways, creating a long, dark trail that stretches for over 100 kilometers across the ice cap. This is the source of the streaks. They are the fallout from these incredible cryovolcanic eruptions. The dark material, likely carbon compounds from beneath the ice, settles back onto the surface, painting the landscape with the evidence of its secret inner life. Triton is not dead. It is sleeping, and in its sleep it dreams of fire, but awakens with ice. You spend weeks charting these geysers. They are not constant. They seem to burst forth and then subside like breaths taken centuries apart. You see the evidence of them everywhere once you know what to look for. The vast, smooth plains that must be ancient, cryovolcanic, flows the ridges and valleys carved by tectonic-like activity in the moon's icy crust. This world, captured from the cold, dark frontier of the solar system, has a beating heart. A frozen nitrogen heart, but a heart nonetheless. It is a profound lesson. Life in its broadest sense, the sense of activity, of change, of a world shaping itself, is not confined to the warm, wet, sunlit cradle of the inner solar system. It can exist here in the deepest cold, powered by forces we are only just beginning to understand. The universe is more creative, more resilient, and more surprising than our sun-warmed imaginations had ever allowed. The time comes for the final act of your journey. Your mission at Triton is complete. The data has been gathered, the images captured, the mysteries logged for generations of scientists back home to study. There is nothing left to do but turn around. With a final silent burn of its thrusters, your vessel pulls away from Triton. The cantaloupe terrain recedes, the dark plumes shrinking back into faint smudges. The moon itself becomes a pinkish-white pearl, hanging in the blackness, its retrograde path a silent testament to its lonely history. You drift away, letting Neptune and its strange family of moons shrink behind you. And then you command the vessel to do something it has not done for 12 long years. You turn it around to face the direction from which you came. You look back toward home. The view is breathtaking. It is not a view of planets or moons or familiar constellations. It is a view of the stars. The starfield is immense, dense, and utterly silent. The Milky Way is a brilliant, shimmering river of light, unobscured by any planetary atmosphere. The stars do not twinkle. They are perfect, unwavering points of diamond-hard light. And among them, one star shines brighter than all the rest. It is a brilliant, piercing white light. It is painful to look at, directly so intense that it seems to burn a hole in the fabric of space. It is not the warm golden disk you remember from your childhood. It is not the gentle giver of life, the center of your world. From here, from the edge of its kingdom, you see it for what it truly is. It is the sun, a star. It is magnificent and terrible in its power, but it is just one star among billions. All the other planets of your solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, are lost in its glare. They are invisible, consumed by the light of their parent, and Earth. Earth is not even a speck of dust. It is an atom hidden somewhere in that blinding pinpoint of light. Everything you have ever known, everyone you have ever loved, every war ever fought, every piece of art ever created, every king and every peasant, every mother and every child, every idea and every dream, all of it is contained within an invisible mote of dust suspended in the light of that one distant star. The feeling that washes over you is not one of smallness or insignificance. It is a feeling of profound connection. To be a part of that tiny, invisible point is not a curse. It is a miracle. To have arisen from the dust of that solar system, to have evolved on that impossibly perfect, water-rich world, and to have built a vessel capable of crossing the unimaginable void to look back upon your own cradle. It is the most astonishing thing in the cosmos. You are a child of that star. You are animated stardust given the brief, glorious gift of consciousness. And you have used that gift to come here to see this, to understand. The silence in the vessel is no longer just an absence of sound. It is a presence. It is the silence of deep space, the silence of cosmic time, the silence that holds all the stars and all the worlds. And in that silence, you feel a sense of peace that is deeper than any you have ever known. The journey outward has become a journey inward. By traveling to the farthest reaches of your home, you have finally truly understood what it means to be home. You look at that single brilliant star and you send a thought across the darkness, a message that will take hours to travel, even at the speed of light, but which you feel in your heart instantaneously. A message of gratitude, a message of wonder, and a promise. A promise that you will carry this perspective, this vast, quiet, humbling peace with you always. The blue giant and its captured moon have given you a final, unforgettable gift, the gift of seeing the light of home from the dark. The journey is over. The voyage has just begun. Closing reflection. In the grand silent theater of the cosmos, our story is but a fleeting whisper. Yet, it is a whisper that has learned to travel across the void, to listen to the songs of distant worlds, and to look back at its own star with new eyes. The darkness between the stars is not an emptiness to be feared, but a canvas upon which the miracle of existence is painted. And in knowing the vastness, we learn the true value of the small, warm, living world we call home, carrying its light within us, wherever the long journey may lead.